Free Period is a podcast of First Baptist Watauga Student Ministry. For more information about First Baptist Watauga, you can check us out at fbcwatauga.org. Hello and welcome to Free Period, the weekly break you want to take. I'm Kevin Skinner, the Associate Pastor and Student Pastor here at First Baptist Watauga.
And I'm Nathan McKendry, your Young Adult Minister and Assistant Student Minister, also here at First Baptist Watauga. And this final week of this season, we will be answering the question, what is your favorite Claymation movie? And shout out goes to Caroline Chastain for asking this question many a week ago, and I'm proud of you for your patience. The episode has finally come.
Yeah, thanks, Caroline.
Yeah, but before we get to that, I should go ahead and give you a word from the 1800s Victorian era.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I am as ready as I'm ever going to be.
So this is kind of two words.
Okay.
Bags o' mystery.
Bags o' mystery. I am going to say that is a phrase to indicate that someone is being suspicious. Like, man, that person is just full of bags of mystery. They are suspicious.
That reminds me of that word giggle mug.
Yeah.
Because that caused great suspicion for me. You are totally incorrect.
Well, I figured I would be.
Now, this is the term for, ready? Sausages.
What?
Exactly. Here it is.
What?
This is why it's such a great
Man,
word
I would
to
like
end
to have gotten a hint that it was a food item after getting it wrong.
Well,
oh well.
You didn't. Bags of
Man.
mystery. The term for sausages because, quote, because no man but the maker knows what is in them. The bag refers.
That is true.
Yeah, the bag refers to the gut which contained the chopped meat.
I think
Lovely.
we should still refer to them as bags o' mystery.
Yeah. Hey,
Are we
pass
having
me that bags of mystery, dog.
Are we having bags of mystery tonight?
Yeah. Can you pass me the ketchup for my bag of mystery?
Does the fact that it's referred to as bags of mystery, and even the fact that you don't know what's in sausages or hot dogs or all of that stuff, does that prevent you from wanting to eat it?
No.
Me either.
But part of that, to be fair, is because I've already eaten it. But I've been willing to try lots of things. When I went to Kenya, and we went to an awesome place called Carnivore, and we had to try several different meat types.
Okay.
Not all of them were good, but I did try them all.
All right.
So,
well, let's get to today's question, which is, what is your favorite Claymation movie?
What a great question.
Now, I didn't actually realize how many Claymation movies there are until I hopped online before we recorded this just to look at how many Claymation movies there are.
Lots.
And there are a lot. All right, but before we get into our favorite Claymation movies, let me ask you this. Nathan, have you ever watched any of the Gumby shows or Gumby movies?
No, definitely not.
Do you at least know who Gumby is?
Yes, but more as a pop culture icon than anything else.
Okay, so you would still consider him a pop culture icon.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. I wonder, students.
Doesn't he still make it to the Thanksgiving Day parade and everything?
I don't know. I don't
feel
typically
like he
watch
was.
that. So
Maybe I've watched a movie where he's on the Thanksgiving Day parade. That's possible.
I don't know. All right. Well, so for those of you that may not know who Gumby is, Gumby was actually a Claymation TV show for the kids back in the mid to late 1950s. It was called The Gumby Show. And back when I was a kid in the 80s, early 80s, they were still showing reruns of this show. And so it was a show that I grew up watching back in the 80s. And so Gumby, if you don't know this, Gumby is an all-green character, all right, head to toe, other than like his eyes and mouth. Head to toe, he is all green. And so actually in my house, between Sarah and I, Gumby is someone that we reference when we are getting dressed. So if we feel like the clothing that we're wearing is too monochromatic, meaning, like the shirt is navy blue and the pants are navy blue, right? Then we might say to the other person, especially if it's long sleeves, right? We might say, do I look like the blue Gumby? And we're saying that kind of in a negative way. Like, I don't want to look like Gumby when I go out today.
I'm almost the blue Gumby today. I'm wearing blue jeans and this blue shirt.
Yeah.
I've got a blue undershirt, too.
Almost, but your blue undershirt kind of is offsetting. It's a light
shade.
It's a light shade, and
but I'm in front of this blue mic, and oh my
man,
goodness.
yeah,
blue Gumby day.
But it's short sleeves. You don't look like Gumby.
That? What if we just embraced that and like had
Gumby days?
Like, all right, Gumby day in the office. Everyone pick a color.
All right, yeah, we should.
That sounds awesome.
We should do that.
Let's do that.
I don't know if we'd get people on board, but we should try.
I can get people on board. I'll get Julie on board, then I have them all.
All right. There you go. All right, so let me ask you, Nathan.
Okay.
What is your favorite claymation movie?
So, I'm going to go with The Year Without a Santa Claus, with Santa Claus is Coming to Town as a close second.
Okay.
So, but yeah, Year Without a Santa Claus, definitely my favorite one, just because it has deep connections with my childhood. I love all the songs. It just kind of seems like the universal Christmas claymation classic to me.
Which is funny because prior to recording this, I told you that I had no idea what that claymation movie was.
Which is world-shaking to me. I don't understand how you don't.
Which I think we have discovered that I have seen that claymation movie.
You must have.
I'm
but
sure.
It must have just been years ago.
I'm sure that I have.
In any sense, it's not what you consider to be the Christmas claymation classic, is it?
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah, see? Man.
Yeah.
Tell them yours.
Yeah, so my favorite claymation movie, which you have indicated is a claymation classic or a claymation Christmas classic, which I definitely agree with, is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Which is a great one. I mean, that's the one with the Island of Misfit Toys, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. And I mean, I think for me, when I was growing up, at least, like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was showed on TV every single Christmas. And so, honestly, for years, that was like one of the only claymation movies that I was even aware existed.
That's fair.
Because that's the one we watched.
Yeah, so we would watch them all the time growing up, but we would go through all of those claymations.
Yeah.
So Year Without a Santa Claus Coming to Town, we'd watch the reindeer ones because there was more than one Rudolph.
Yeah.
But ultimately, as I got older, that kind of tapered off for a while, and then we started watching them again a few years ago, and Jonathan and I have just been cracking up as we watch them because just some of the things that, so for instance, one of the kind of the bad guy, the antagonist in the Year Without a Santa Claus, his name is Burgermeister Meisterburger, which is just best name I've ever heard of. Like, it's amazing. So those are some of the things that I just find great enjoyment in. And then watching these there's another reindeer. What do they call it? Vixen. Vixen's one of the reindeer. And poor Vixen. Vixen gets sick and ends up in a dog shelter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just like Santa. Santa is sick. Santa's sick, and like Mrs. Santa takes over for the year. It's pretty funny.
So she delivers the gifts, Mrs. Santa does?
I don't remember if she delivers them in the end or not, but she like takes on the charge and has to. I feel like Santa does in the end because Santa ends up going to town when things start going wrong because people don't.
Santa Claus is coming to town.
He does. He does come to town. Tell you, man. He comes to town and starts like talking with people about how they're not believing anymore. And so he kind of meets some people and gets in on the groundwork of that. And then by the end, he's kind of convinced that he needs to go back to work. And so I think it ends with him going. But for a moment, they have a whole song dedicated to Mrs. Santa. And if she's going to do the Christmas this year. And she doesn't.
Oh.
But
spoiler.
You think for a minute. Well, you've had 50 years to watch this, so
I've only been alive for 38.
Almost 39. You're basically at actually by the time of this podcast, you're 39.
No.
Caught you in the lie.
Man, you're right. By the time y'all are listening to this podcast, I have already had a birthday and I'm already 39 years old.
And I think I'm married at this point.
Wow, congrats, man. Yes.
Yeah.
For those listening, we just high-fived.
We did high five because we realized that he's grown a year older and I'm like
And you're
married
married.
now.
Man, how was
Probably at home right now
How was the
watching
honeymoon?
this show. I don't know yet. Hopefully good. Going to Kansas City. Hopefully we're watching Christmas movies. That's what I told her that already. I was like, I want to bring like Christmas movies with us.
That's awesome. So for me, as we think about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, I think one of the main reasons that I like the movie is because it kind of plays out the classic song that we sing.
That's true, it does.
Yeah,
I remember that.
And so you kind of get to have some background to the song in watching that, and Rudolph is constantly trying to hide his nose throughout the show,
Right.
and then he realizes that the nose is a gift that Santa can use.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I always like that because there may be things about ourselves that we don't like. There may be things that we think are not gifts in our life, but then as we get older, we realize, oh, actually, this is a blessing in my life, and God can use this, not to equate God with Santa Claus, but we find out, look, this isn't necessarily a curse or something that's bad in my life. This is a blessing, and this is a gift, and it can be used. And so I always kind of like that message in that movie. So let me ask you, kind of moving away now from claymation movies, but because both of our claymation movies are Christmas movies, and because we are in the Christmas season, I mean, by the time this is coming out, Christmas is just days
3
away.
days.
Days away, guys. So let me ask you, what are some of your traditions? Do you have any family traditions? Do you have, what are some of the things that y'all do around Christmas time?
Well, first off, I will state Christmas season is my favorite season. So,
Same.
Yeah, this is the best time of the year, easily.
Absolutely.
And I've already noticed in early November, that we're filming this, that I think people have already given up for the year. They're like, nope, we're going to put up Christmas decorations now. We ain't
I'm
wait
ready
till
to.
Thanksgiving. Yeah,
I'm ready to.
Driving to my neighborhood, they're already up, and I'm like, I'm okay with this. I'm fine if we expedite Christmas. But we always, growing up as a family, we would do things like watch all the Christmas movies. I mean, when Thanksgiving is over, it seems like every night that we have available, we're watching a Christmas movie. And so there's just this, and my family, we love movies too much, and so we've got all these Christmas movies that we've got to get through, all the kind of classics. And
do you have another favorite Christmas movie
Ooh.
Aside from the claymation classic?
I mean, I've got several that I have to watch each year.
Just
How
give
the
me
Grinch Stole
one.
Christmas.
One
Jim
that
Carrey's
you can't live
Grinch.
without. That one?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
That one's just hilarious to me every time. Mm-hmm.
I would say Home Alone for me.
Home Alone. Kirsten doesn't like that one.
Well,
broke my heart.
That's why she's not on this podcast.
That's right. She doesn't get a voice because of that.
That's my favorite Christmas movie is Home Alone.
That, with good reason. It is a classic. I do enjoy that one thoroughly, especially the music. John Williams.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the episode on that for the
movies that made us.
That
Yeah,
was it,
me
yeah.
too.
It's a great episode.
Mm-hmm.
So we do a lot of things like that. We open gifts on Christmas Eve, but now, of course, mind you, I'm married now, so I imagine I'll be making new traditions.
Yeah, you will.
So clean slate this year.
Yeah, I
Cool.
mean, we have made our own traditions.
Tell me about them.
As we have gotten married, and really those have even had to shift and change as we moved away from our families.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Both of our parents live about 4.5 to 5 hours away. And so our family tradition has become that we open presents on Christmas Eve morning.
Oh, okay.
We treat it like it's Christmas morning. We open presents because we want to kind of enjoy that as a family. Then we come to the Christmas Eve service that night here at First Baptist Watauga. And then Christmas morning, we load up into the car and we head out. We either go to my parents' house or we go to Sarah's parents' house, depending on the year.
How long do you stay there?
It just depends.
Oh,
So, at least a week generally.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We see, that's the kind of thing that I'm going to be doing now, because Kirsten's parents currently live in Abilene, unless something drastic has changed in the last few weeks.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll be, I guess, doing Christmas with my family and then turning around and leaving to go do Christmas with them for a couple days. So
Yeah, and you'll continue to develop those traditions as the years go on, and I'm sure even as the years go on for us, I'm sure that our traditions will continue to shift and change over time.
Mm-hmm.
So, one of the things that I love doing as part of our Christmas tradition is going to look at Christmas lights.
Yes, yeah. Diamond Lock, have you been over there?
Yes.
Yeah, Diamond Lock is where we went growing up.
However, I will say last year it was not as good.
Was it not?
A lot more houses did not decorate.
Sad.
People just decided not to participate in it, and so
they get tired of all the traffic.
Driving through, it was not as spectacular as years past. So that was somewhat disappointing. But maybe they'll be enthused this year after the year we've had in 2020.
My neighborhood did something this year for Halloween. They had like a contest for who would be the best Halloween decor, and so there was I'm not used to seeing very many decorated houses for Halloween in my neighborhood, but there was a lot. So I'm hoping if they'll do that same thing for Christmas, maybe we'll see a lot more Christmas lights in our.
Yeah, that'd be neat.
That'd be really cool. Then we'd be the neighborhood.
Boom.
Yeah. Well, of course,
then you'd never be able to get out of your driveway.
No, I won't live there anymore. I'll just go visit mom and dad.
You'd never be able to get in to visit.
You're right. Yeah. Why don't you come to visit? I do. I just look at the lights and I drive on like everyone else.
Right.
Just follow the line. I want to know what our students like to do at Christmas time.
Yeah.
So tell us in the comments.
Yeah. Tell us your favorite Christmas movie. Tell us your favorite Claymation movie, whether it's Christmas or not. And then tell us some of your family traditions around Christmas time.
Yeah. I specifically want you to go on the comments and tell us that my Christmas movie, The Year Without Santa Claus, is more of a classic than Kevin's.
I won't be offended either way.
Well, I'll be offended. So,
all right. Well, that's it for this week's episode of Free Period, and it's also the last episode of season 2 of Free Period. Man,
that was
I can't
quick.
believe it. Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us this season, and we've got plans to be back once again in the new semester for season 3 of Free Period. So join us again next semester.
Bye.
I hope that you enjoyed today's podcast, and I'd love to meet you in person. If you're a student between 7th and 12th grade, you can join us on Wednesday nights for midweek at First Baptist Watauga. You can also join us on Sunday mornings at 9:30 a.m. for growth groups and 10:50 a.m. for worship.